Hi, my name is Ethan Reitz, and this is the demo for my portfolio project for Software Engineering 1. So for my project, I made a web app which basically allows you to create periodic tables. If you go to the home page here, you can see we have our basic periodic table. You are encouraged to tinker around with this, so you can see as you mouse over one of these components, the cursor changes shape, indicating that you can interact with this component. As you hover your mouse over these different elements, you can see the properties on the left are populated. As you scroll down, you'll notice these two sidebars scroll with the table, so you can always see this at all times. If you click on one of these elements, you can read additional information for the element, and behind the scenes, this is calling my teammates microservice, and is scraping Wikipedia for the given element's name. You can hit escape or click out of the modal, and it'll go away. So you can try it out with any single one of these elements, and you should be able to read more. And if you want to read even more information, you can follow this link here for Wikipedia. On the home page, you can also see you can view any periodic table that's stored in the database, and I'll show you in a little bit how we can create new tables. But for now, if you click this other table, we can view our periodic table of the beers. And here you have all the same features, right? You can mouse over them. It'll populate the properties on the left. And if you click on one of these, again, it's going to scrape Wikipedia and return back, a few basic facts about the given cell or element in the table, and you can read more at Wikipedia. I'll show you here how to create a table, and the user has given multiple approaches to create a table. And as you can see here, the first thing it's asking us to do is what style do we want to do. So we can either create a table from scratch, or we can create a table from a clone of another table. So I'll first show you a clone. And so if you click from clone, some additional things appear here on the page. So you're being guided through the task of creating a new table by only being shown features that are relevant at the current moment. So we want to clone a table from beers, for example, and we have to name our table to something else, so we can just say test 1. And you can see this button came here, and now we can initialize our table. And so you can see, yeah, we've cloned our table that we were looking at before. And so now we want to edit this table, and you can say whatever we can edit this here, so test here. You can change this to whatever you want, change the symbol to something else. And you can see if we change the group, so the group block is what actually colors these elements. We can change this to something else. You can add properties and remove them, as many as you want. And hit save. And you can see it immediately, since I changed the group block to foo, it dynamically changed the color. I can show you that again here. Bar. And hit save. And we have a new color. Okay. And finally, we can see that we can save this table to the database. And table saved successfully. Okay. And we're taking back to the home screen. So now we should be able to see this in the dropdown. So we have test 1, and there we go. So we can see the changes that we made have been saved to the database. So that was how we create a table from a clone. Now I'll show you how to create a table from scratch. So again, guiding us through this task here, we're only seeing the information that's relevant. We need to name our table, so we'll say test2. Number of rows, you can change this to be whatever. Initialize our table. And there you go. So we've now created basically a blank table, and we can fill out this form in the same way. Demo here, and we can set this to whatever you want. And we'll change the group block just to show that the colors change. Group 1. And we'll just do one more. So there we go, and I'll just show you if I, with this group 1, if I put this one back to group 1, it should be red. So there we go. And we can save this one to the database. Table successfully saved. Okay, we're taking back to home screen, and test2 is here, and there we go. Everything's working as expected. And finally, we can see the last thing that we can do is delete a table. So we just choose a table from the drop down, table 2, delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? Okay. And there we go. Table 2 is, test2 is no longer there. One other thing to note is that, it's a familiar feature that will always be available is that the periodic table of the elements cannot be deleted. If you try to delete the elements, it doesn't actually delete. So if you go back to here, you'll always be able to look at the elements, and we'll always be able to clone any table from the periodic table of the elements like this. Oh yeah, one other thing to note here is the user can always undo their actions. So if you name this something bad, name this something bad, and you saved it, you can always go back and change it, right? Or if you partially fill out this form and you decided, oh whoops, I don't want that, you can either click outside of the modal or hit escape, and it doesn't actually update until you hit save. One final thing to note is, one feature I guess, is that if you create a table and the table name already exists, it'll inform you here that, hey, this table already exists, pick another name, we say test3, and these two fields are required, so we have to fill these in. And there we have it. And that's the basic idea. Yeah, thanks for watching.